Hi y'all, so my name is Cade. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hello. So just some quick life update. I'm pretty excited. I'm almost halfway done with my third year in pharmacy school, and that's so crazy to say because I feel like I just started pharmacy school and now we're like more toward the end of it, and it's like very exciting. And so after this I have one more semester of pretty much what they call the didactic learning year, because in our fourth year it'll be all like rotation, and I'm so excited about that also, just because hopefully two is confirmed, but hopefully the third one I'm out of the country also, and so that's just a very exciting experience that I feel like I'm very blessed to be able to do. But with that being said, I think I have confirmed what kind of pharmacist I want to be and like the field I want to go into. So obviously it's pharmacy, but after my fourth year, I think I want to do like a residency, so like 1 year of residency and then go into ambulatory care, right? So what exactly is ambulatory care, right? So at the beginning, I was very confused because our P1 year, I went in knowing like pharmacists, for the main part is at retail, right? Like you see them at CVS, you see them at Walgreens, you see them at Walmart, you see them at like just different retail settings, right? But we really went into depth with like the different avenues that pharmacists could go into. Like there's hospital pharmacist, there's nuclear, there's all kind of things like cell pharmacists, and even like at the beginning I thought I wanted to go into like SkinCeuticals, so like making makeup or facials, and then there's some that are with like Maybelline, like different makeup brands and stuff. But then through my course of pharmacy school, and with the confirmation from this year's lab, which was ambulatory care pretty much, I feel in love with this field. And really what ambulatory care pharmacists do is I would see them as like a primary care doctor kind of in a way. And what I mean by that is you're pretty much seeing a patient, going through all their different disease states with them, going through the medications and making sure that, those are first line treatments for them, treating them like as if you're going to treat your family. Would you want them on that medications? And making sure that it's, patient preferences, and making sure it's the most like optimal treatment for them to make sure that they're come out better on the other end, right? And I feel like there's just so much value in that, because going into pharmacy, like all I knew was, okay, medicine. I knew I wanted to know about different disease state. How would you treat that? Which pretty much was the turning point for me with going to medical school or pharmacy school, right? Because in medical school, you're pretty much going to be the one diagnosing, coming in, symptoms, what are you presented with, what like diagnose are we thinking of. As to pharmacy, being able to explore it for the last almost 3 years, I've come to realize that pharmacy is such a unique field, because even now you learn about the different disease state, different symptoms, different signs, how providers would diagnose that you have X, Y, and Z. But then the unique thing about pharmacy is you learn that, but you also have the aspect of different first line treatments for certain things. And then not only just the treatments, but the side effects of what patients should be aware of. And also on the back end side, what the provider should be monitoring, right? So just different aspects that pharmacists have, knowledge about. And I think that's just such a valuable thing. And so that's why I'm leaning more toward ambulatory care, because I feel like after all these learning, I originally want to go into like SkinCeutical, like I said, like with the makeup and like skincare stuff. But I always ask myself, what can I do to improve like my community? And then not only that, but like you're learning all this, but what can you give back to, people that, in reverse would like give you a redemption that you did something good in this world, right? And so I So this year we're actually in ambulatory care lab, and so we're able to practice patient cases with our colleagues, go through them. Like we have 5 minutes, we call them the OSLE, right? So we have 5 minutes to review patient cases, and then 10 minutes to talk with our colleagues, but they act like patients, and just to see, is there any adjustment that we need to do with your treatment plan at the moment, and making sure that we always incorporate the patient's opinion, and making sure that they are educated enough to make their own decision, right? While helping them reach the goal that they have. And I feel like there's just so much value in that. And since I'm a very social person also, I feel like that I just kind of fell in love with the field in itself with ambulatory care. So definitely, with that being said, it'll be something that after graduation, I'll do 1 year residency. And then hopefully after that, I can start practicing as a ambulatory care pharmacist. So that's the whole realm of like pharmacy at the moment. Again, we are in our final stretch of our P3. And so next week we will actually begin our finals, and it'll lead into December 15th. And then hopefully after that, we get 3 weeks off and then come back and finish off our P3 in January, right? And so that's very exciting. Yeah. And I think one of the questions that I got was, what is one of the biggest thing I've learned through my journey in pharmacy school is give yourself some grace while being in the process of becoming something you've never been before, right? So I'm a very type A person. So like I like to plan things out. I have a certain goal, I want to achieve it, and I literally have like a step-by-step of how to get there, right? And when things don't go that way, for type A people, it's really stressful, and it's something that like, still every day I try to become better with that. And so one thing with pharmacy is, for the most part, you're always winning, right? But then you will lose some here and there. And it's very important to know that during those setback moments that you remind yourself of how far you've come. And then not only that, but like your setback does not define who you are. It's not a reflection of you or your success. But if anything, it's a reminder that you're human, and it's okay to pause and, just breathe and, just get back up and come back stronger on the other side, right? So that's one of the biggest things that I think I've learned through my journey is not everything will go your way, but when it doesn't, you can use it as a lesson to come back stronger, or you can just like pretty much hound on that and pretty much not go nowhere. So that would be my biggest advice, in just being patient with yourself, right? Because you're becoming someone you haven't ever been before. So like for me, like with pharmacy, right? I'm not a pharmacist yet, obviously. So in this process, it's about the beauty and becoming a pharmacist, and not really beating myself down that like, you should know this, X, Y, Z, things like that. And so yeah, that's the pharmacy spell. And then right now I have to figure out where I want to settle at, right? Once like pharmacy school pretty much comes to an end. I do like Charleston. It's where I go to school right now, but it's not something that I can see myself living, raising a family, things like that. It's not, just the location, but I think it's the people here also. I've only met like nice people, but like it's just the culture here, and it's just something about Charleston, I don't know, that I just don't feel homey here. But at the same time, I feel like it's because my family is from North Carolina, so all my family's there. So I just get lonely here. And on top of that, with school where you're always studying, it does get hard to go out and do stuff. So maybe I haven't really explored what Charleston have to offer, But for the most part, I do love that the beach is right there. I love the numerous restaurants. I love the coffee places. And yeah. So with that, depending on where I go for residency, I'm probably gonna try to get somewhere in North Carolina so that I could be closer to my family again. Although Charleston is only 4 hours away from where I live, it's far enough where like you can't just drive home on the weekend and they can't just come and see you whenever. So I feel like it would be very helpful just to move back to North Carolina for the time being for residency for that year, just to figure out everything where I want to live and etc., things like that. Because after residency, I do want to just travel pretty much for like a couple years and then settle down, have a family, things like that, and then actually start life. And just talking that out loud is so crazy because it's kind of like it's a goal that I've always had for myself, right? But it's crazy that it's like almost here, and I'm like very, very proud of myself and all the people who've been in my life to support me and just been very patient while I'm in school. And so yeah, there's a lot of people along the way, right? Like success doesn't just happen with one person. It starts with a village that pretty much helps support, being the foundation and backbone, like my parents and my family. But with that being said, I am so happy with how life is going at the moment. And so I just wanted to get on here and update you guys about life and how everything's going. Yeah, so that is the plan as of December 2025. But maybe the plan might change at the end of my P3 year. But hopefully not. But if it does, it's okay, because like I said, going in, I never had this perception of pharmacy being like this, but there's so many avenues that pharmacists can go into, and I'm so happy that I picked this field along with all the amazing people that I've met, like my bestie pharmacy friend Mackenzie, who just always been there being supportive and just a study buddy, and she's just amazing. But other than that, life's been good, and yeah, so that's the update.